Good afternoon. How is everyone? How is your day? Oh, I think it's time to trot to Truckee. Ready? Stand up. Get your trotting ready. And let's trot, trot to Truckee to buy a loaf of bread. Trot, trot, home again, the bunny went to bed. Trot, trot to Truckee, trot to Incline. Trot, trot, home again, the sparrows are fine. We have sparrows outside our classroom, and they finished their nest, and they're all snug inside. Now they're helping their other friends build their nest. Okay, so I've been singing some songs that my parents sang to me to help me go to sleep. The babies wanted to be a part of this next one. They wanted me to sing this song to them. So I'm going to get all the babies. I'll see if I can hold them all. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh boy. Okay. I got 4 babies and they all want to go to sleep. So I'm going to sing to them. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. If that mockingbird don't sing, Mama's gonna buy you a diamond ring. If that diamond ring turns to brass, Mama's gonna buy you a looking glass. If that looking glass gets broke, Mama's gonna buy you a billy goat. If that billy goat won't pull, Mama's gonna buy you a cart and bull. If that cart and bull turn over, Mama's gonna buy you a dog named Rover. If that dog named Rover won't bark, Mama's gonna buy you a horse and cart. If that horse and cart fall down, you'll still be the sweetest little baby in town. Oh, that helped the babies go to sleep. Shh, I'm gonna lay them down. They liked that song so much they relaxed and fell to sleep. While they're sleeping, I will read you a story called The Alligator Baby. Oh no! An alligator baby! By Robert Munsch. There's the alligator. One night, Kristen's mother woke up and yelled, "A baby! A baby! I'm having a baby!" There's her pregnant tummy. Kristen's father jumped up, zoomed around the room, got dressed, and grabbed Kristen's mother by the hand. They ran downstairs to the car and drove off really fast. Zoom! Unfortunately, they got lost. They didn't go to the hospital. They didn't go to the midwife. They went to the zoo. But it was okay. Kristen's mother had a lovely baby. Then they drove home and knocked on their front door. Bang, bang, bang. Kristen opened the door, and there was her mother, holding something all wrapped up. "Kristen, would you like to see your new baby brother?" "Oh, yes," said Kristen. So Kristen lifted up the bottom of the blanket. She saw a long, green tail. She lifted up the middle of the blanket and saw a green claw. For with the green tail, she said, "That's not a people tail." Do peoples have tails? She lifted the middle blanket and saw a green claw and said, "That's not a people claw." She lifted the top of the blanket and saw a long green face with lots of teeth and said, "That's not a people face. That is not my baby brother." "Now, Kristen," said her mother, "don't be jealous." Just then the baby reached up and bit Kristen's mother on the nose. She yelled, "Ah!" Then the baby reached up and bit her father on the nose. He yelled, "Oh!" "That's not a people baby," said Kristen. "That's an alligator baby." "Oh no." "Goodness," said her mother, "we've got the wrong baby." So Kristen put the alligator baby in the fish tank, and her mother and father drove back to the zoo. They came back in an hour and knocked on the door. Blam, blam, blam. Kristen opened the door and her mother said, "Would you like to see your new baby brother?" "Oh, yes," said Kristen. Kristen lifted up the bottom of the blanket and saw a fishy tail. "That's not a people tail." She lifted up the middle of the blanket and saw a flipper and said, "That's not a people flipper." She lifted up the top of the blanket and saw a face with whiskers and said, "That's not a people face. That is not my baby brother." "Now, Kristen," said her mother, "don't be jealous." Just then the baby reached up with its flipper and flapped the father's face. He yelled, "Ah! It's a seal baby! We've got the wrong baby!" So Kristen put the seal baby in the bathtub, and her mother and father drove back to the zoo. They came back in an hour and knocked on the door. Blam, blam, blam. They said, "Kristen, would you like to see your new baby brother?" "Oh, yes," said Kristen. She lifted up the bottom of the blanket, saw a very hairy leg, and said, "That's not a people leg." Or she lifted up the middle of the blanket and saw a very hairy arm. "That's not a people arm." She lifted up the top of the blanket and saw a very hairy face and said, "That's not a people face. That is not my baby brother." "Now, Kristen," said her mother, "don't be jealous. Are babies hairy?" Then the baby reached up with its feet and grabbed his mother's ear and her father's ear. And they both yelled, "Ah! It's a gorilla baby! We've got the wrong baby!" "Let me do it," said Kristen. So her mother and father put the gorilla baby on the chandelier in the living room, and Kristen went off to the zoo on her bicycle. First, Kristen looked in the snake cage. No people babies. She looked in the wombat cage. No people babies. Then she looked in the elephant cage. No people babies. Then she stopped and listened. From far away she heard, "Wah, wah, wah, wah." "That's more like it," said Kristen. She followed the sound. It was coming from the gorilla cage. Kristen looked at the mommy gorilla and said, "Give me my baby brother, please." The gorilla jumped away and wouldn't give the baby back at all. Look at that. There's the people baby. Then the people baby reached up and bit the gorilla on the nose, and the gorilla yelled, "Oh!" and handed the baby to Kristen. Kristen jumped on her bicycle and pedaled home. She's got her baby brother. Kristen knocked on the door. Blam, blam, blam. When her parents opened it up, she said, "Would you like to see your new baby?" Kristen's mother lifted up the bottom of the blanket and said, "People legs." She lifted the middle of the blanket and said, "People hands." She lifted the top of the blanket and said, "Look, a people face." Kristen's mother picked at the baby and gave it a big hug. Her father took the baby and gave it a big hug. And her mother said, "Kristen, Kristen, you got the baby back. Good for you." "But what are we going to do with all these other babies?" yelled Kristen's father. "There's a seal baby in the bathtub, an alligator baby in the fish tank, and a gorilla baby hanging from the chandelier. We should take them back to the zoo." But Kristen looked out the window and said, "I don't think we'll have to do anything at all. Look, all of the animal mamas. The seal mama, the gorilla mama, and the alligator mama came bursting through the door looking for their babies." And everything was okay until Kristen's mother had twins. Everybody's back with their mamas and their babies. Aww. That's so sweet. Okay, it's time to wind down for the day. What are you going to do to help yourself go to sleep? And I hope you have a great weekend.